I was crawling through my Steam recommended one night when I happened upon a game called Milk Inside a Bag of Milk. Looking like other games I had played similar to it, such as Lisa and Yume Nikki, Off by Mortis Ghost, and a few others, I decided to try it out, and it was not something that I was expecting at all. The game starts up with a deep red purple color and bright bold words on the front saying, "Help me buy a bag of milk." Once you click that button, you're started on a journey that is amazing. We start off with a monologue from inside a girl's head. A deep, red, confusing world is presented in front of us. We are seeing it through her eyes. And we're seeing it as she is rehearsing her words to go buy a bag of milk. She is trying to remember the things to say to make sure she does it right. You're given options as to how to answer her struggles in navigating the world. You are inside of her head and you are helping her. Once you reach the store, you're confronted with something in front of you, a creature almost. Something similar to a human, but definitely not. And our character tries to talk to her, but is only presented with the word "oh" to her. And we are addressed to her that she is frightened by that. For no reason we know, but it just bothers her. We are tasked with aiding her through this conversation and trying to help her and motivate her, or discourage her, which is some options. Once you've done either of those, you have passed the creature, and she goes to the milk aisle and struggles with herself while trying to remember to buy it and how to grab it, and then struggles with word constructions, which she loves to do, talking about milk inside of a bag and milk inside a bag of milk. Once we've gotten over that, we are presented with our next hurdle, the cashier, which is again an odd creature, unhuman in every way. She stumbles through it, forgetting to pay and needing to be reminded of it by the player. Once she's gotten through that, she leaves and talks to herself more as she walks home, passing a gas station, and slipping off the side of the road and almost being run over by a truck, which she then recalls to the player as being a bear with big red eyes, having to be reminded that it was a truck to her and that she almost died, which she doesn't believe. And all of this leads up to, I think, one of the most human conversations I've ever had in a video game. I'm not going to spoil it much by what's talked about and the information presented or what happens after it. I just like to present my feelings on it. The character after this has been walking down the sidewalk, and she talks about wanting to talk to the player himself, not the voice inside of her head. And she pictures herself as she's sitting there in a bench in a stereotypical visual novel sense where you'd see the protagonist and their love interest sitting together in a nice, bright, sunny day. And you've only played the game for about 22 minutes at this point, if you've gone through both playthroughs, getting both endings. But it really feels like you're connected to her, helping her through these, seeing her thought process inside of her head, helping her get through all of that, and seeing what it's like to be inside a person with mental illness. Despite its short length, you really do connect to her, playing through it, helping her along and seeing the world through her eyes. I was attached and I cared for her, struggling in her life, and she talks to you now, to the player, about so much, and it feels real. It feels like you're really talking to someone that you've helped through all of that, and it's deep. It's so real that it honestly hurts. If you've ever struggled with any kind of mental illness in your life, you can't relate to what she's had, but you can relate to the struggle of dyslexia, depression, anxiety disorder, Asperger's, autism. You can relate to what she's going through because it's all centered around her illness, but it all feels so real, even to someone who doesn't have anything serious like that, such as myself. It feels real. I can feel what she's going through and what plagues them every day. Even if you can't relate to her through that, you can still feel her pain by what she's talking about and seeing it through her eyes. That she is so human despite that she sees a world that is so unhuman and so unnatural to us. If you have not played Milk Inside of a Bag of Milk, please go play it. It really is an experience unlike anything.